We begin this hour with breaking news as President Trump is targeting yet another blue city today, this time threatening to send troops to Portland to shut down protests outside ICE facilities. Trump this morning posted on Truth Social, quote, at the request of Secretary of Homeland Security Kristi Noem, I am directing Secretary of War Pete Hegseth to provide all necessary troops to protect war-ravaged Portland and any of our ICE facilities under siege from attack by Antifa and other domestic terrorists. I'm also authorizing full force if necessary. NBC News is reporting that Pentagon officials appeared to be surprised by Trump's post and said they were not aware of any new orders to send troops into Portland, and no information was relayed as to what kind of troops or how many will be sent. This comes as Attorney General Pam Bondi said she is deploying federal agents to ICE facilities across the country, stating that, quote, under President Trump's leadership, there is zero tolerance for political violence or domestic terrorism. Meanwhile, officials in Oregon are pushing back. The mayor of Portland, putting it bluntly, said, quote, the number of necessary troops is zero in Portland and in any other American city. And tonight, the governor of Oregon reiterated there is no national security threat in Portland. Here's what she said at a presser moments ago.
There is no insurrection. There is no threat to national security, and there is no need for military troops in our major city. Military service members should be dedicated to real emergencies. The members of the Oregon National Guard, their mission is to stand up and protect Oregonians, and they will do that every day, but they are not needed in the city. They are not needed here.
But Oregon Congresswoman Suzanne Bonamici saw this coming, and she's telling locals in Oregon, don't take the bait. Congresswoman Suzanne Bonamici joins us now. Congresswoman, first of all, let's just hear it directly from you. Have you heard from anyone in Trump's administration about their plan for sending troops to Portland?
Well, thanks for having me on. We heard some rumors yesterday, and then, of course, this morning we saw the announcement. And I tell you, I am proud to represent downtown Portland. I spent a lot of time there. 2 days ago, I was at the ICE facility. Yesterday, I was in Portland, one side of town in the afternoon, another side of town in the evening. I was back again today. Nowhere did I see one single bit of evidence that we need any kind of military intervention. We don't want them here, and we don't need them here.
Congresswoman, what is this about for you? I mean, because when you look at it and you see what's happening, you know, he said he was going to go in Chicago. He didn't go in Chicago. He said he was going to go to Baltimore. He didn't go into Baltimore. Memphis, D.C. he did. L.A. he did. And clearly those are, it seems that he's targeting, you know, Democratic-run cities. I'm just curious to get your thoughts as to why you think this keeps happening. What do you think he's trying to do here?
I think, well, first of all, I think he's lying because there's nothing here that indicates any sort of need for military intervention. What he's trying to do is exert a gross abuse of power so he can show authoritarianism here in beautiful Portland. And again, we don't want him here. We don't need him here. And I was at the press conference today. I share the words of the governor and what Mayor Wilson said. President Trump said he'd send necessary troops, and the number of necessary troops is zero. I agree with that. This won't make our city any safer. Downtown today, there were people riding their bikes and shopping at the farmer's market. There's nothing that indicates that there's some sort of a warscape that he painted. He's either lying or he's delusional.
Congresswoman, I just wonder, like, so much of this seems like it's Trump from his first term, that he was angry about Black Lives Matter protests, and that's why he's picking on Portland. Do you think that's true? I mean, are there even big protests happening in Portland?
No, there aren't. You know, I remember that was more than 5 years ago when he sent troops here, and it just was like pouring gasoline on the flames. It just made things worse. But we're not seeing that now. Crime is down in Portland. I was at the ICE facility a couple days ago. There were a couple people outside protesting. Senator Wyden just posted a video. There's nothing happening down there now. There have been some protests, but even our Portland police has noted that some of the violent response has been instigated by ICE. There is absolutely no need for the military here. Our police chief, Bob Day, spoke today. Our police is doing their job. It is not the job of the military to come here. We are seeing actually a Portland that's thriving and growing, and this sends a terrible message around the country. We want people to come here. We have a representative from the business community here today. We have great restaurants, great shops. People are welcome to come here, and you aren't going to see what you saw in either in Donald Trump's mind or more than 5 years ago. We've done a good job. You know, if Donald Trump wants to help us here in Portland, he could release the federal funding. He could send some money for housing. He could release the school funding that they're holding back, and he could reverse the Medicaid cuts. That would help Portland.
Congresswoman, could you talk a bit about the ICE facility that you visited? You said there weren't many protests.
Sure.
So this is about, and correct me if I'm misinterpreting the coverage of this and how it came to be, but the ICE officials they had detainees overnight, and that's illegal in Portland, and it violated their permit. And so we're looking into legal action. And then now Trump is using that as the pretense for the troop deployment?
I don't know. I can't get into his head, and I don't want to. But yes, there was an investigation, and the city found that the ICE facility was violating some of the local requirements. They aren't permitted to hold people there for longer than 12 hours. But that's something that's going to be resolved here at the local level. It certainly is not a justification for military troops. Our military troops don't belong in American cities. There is no reason why they're talking about this. And the language, the violent language that they're using is extremely concerning to the community here. Something about using full force, I think they said. That is not appropriate. That's terrifying for the community. That is not a message we want here. Portlanders are going to be protesting. If they're protesting, they're going to be doing that peacefully. They have the right to do that. But here in Portland, we are standing with community. Communities are stepping up all across Portland to say, we don't need the military here. And today we had not only our governor, as I mentioned, but our mayor, several local leaders, our police chief, the business community, all together saying, do not come to Portland. Do not send the military here. It is, again, an effort to just show authoritarian control over a city that is thriving but happens to be a Democratic city.
Congresswoman, do you think it's notable that this is happening at the same time that the Oversight Committee is releasing more Epstein documents, the kind of discourse around him deploying the National Guard? It seems that every time there is movement or there is some significant development, and we saw this week these emails and more documents being released.
Sure.
Do you think that Donald Trump is trying to distract the national media away from the Epstein files by talking about the National Guard and the military being deployed in cities like Portland?
Eamon, I have no doubt. In fact, I know you were covering the story about Adelita Grijalva, who our newest elected member of Congress, who now we're hearing might not even get sworn in right away. They're delaying that because she's going to be the 218th signature on the discharge petition to release the Epstein files. And I keep asking this question, what are they hiding? Release the Epstein files.
Yeah, indeed. Congresswoman Suzanne Bonamici, it's great to have you on the show. Thank you so much for joining us this evening, Congresswoman.
Thank you.